Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications you can apply to your life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in 1 Samuel 20, verses 1 through 42. Now, Jonathan and David were best of friends. They fought side by side. And they both loved the Lord, and they had a remarkable friendship, and their bond was so strong. And Jonathan had asked David to treat his children with kindness, which David does do in the future. But Jonathan also can't believe that his father would want to hurt David in any way. David had won many battles for him. David played the harp for his father. And David dealt very wisely and kindly with all of the people that he met. So how could Jonathan's father want to kill David when he was such an honoring God, not only for the king, but for the people in the kingdom as well? But Jonathan was willing to listen to David. He was willing to consider what he said, and he was willing to talk to his dad and give David the true answer, whether it was good or whether it was bad. And then we see that Saul and Jonathan are sitting at the table, and Saul asks where David's at. Jonathan answers him, and then Saul is angry, so angry to the point that he insults his son, he insults his son's mother, and he even tries to kill his son. And then Jonathan's upset and angry, and he leaves the table without even eating. Now, this sounds a lot like some families today when they get together and eat dinner. There's fussing and fighting, and people get up and leave, and they're mad. And it really comes down to our attitude. We have to keep our attitude in check. We have to keep our anger under control. Now, Saul was angry because he wanted to make sure that his son Jonathan would be the next king after him. But yet, Saul tried to kill his son, the very one that he wanted to make king after him. So it just grieved Jonathan to know how his father felt. It grieved Jonathan to send David away. And of course, they both hugged each other, they both cried, and then they go their separate ways. And in life, the scenario is really no different. You get people that are angry. You get people that want to kill somebody else because they feel like they're taking their position, their status, their place in life. And then you have the other hand where two people are so close that they have an unbreakable bond that it doesn't matter what their statue is. That each one of them, like Jonathan, was willing to give up his kingdom for David because he loved him that much. And in life, we run into people that we tend to depend on them, especially when we're going in hard times. That's who we trust. That's the person we can count on. But we have to realize the only person that we can really count on is God. As humans, we're going to fail. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to let people down. But God is sinless. He will not fail us. He will not ever let us down. And sometimes too in life, we just have to learn that we have to deal with some things on our own. We cannot always deal with that one friend that we could count on, that one family member that we could count on, that we have to get to a point that we realize that God is the one we have to depend on. God is the one that we have to rely on. God is the one that is going to lead us through all of our trials and all of our problems. And there's some things that we have to walk down the road alone in order to learn the lessons that we need to learn, in order for us to grow in our character, to grow in our faith in God. And then, of course, we get to a point where we realize that everything we have is nothing without God. Your home, your car, your job, your status, your money, all of that means nothing. It is temporarily. And it's a lot like a lot of things in this world. It's only temporary. It was never meant to last forever. And the only thing that's going to last forever is God's kingdom. And that is what we should be focused on, not the temporary things of this world, the material things, but people that we can actually reach and tell them of God and His love. And then, of course, when we face our problems, we know that we're facing them with God on our side, and we're going to face them with prayer and perseverance. And when we let go, then we can live for God in the way that He has designed for us. And we start to see things the way God does. We no longer look at that person as a pain in our butt, but as someone that is a child of God, that God loves and has wonderful things planned for them. And we will no longer look at things the same. We will look at things as being temporary. This is a temporary setback. This is a temporary problem. This is a temporary pain. This is a temporary home, because we all know that one day our goal is to be with God in His kingdom. May God be with you in everything and in every way.